Gratitude is very important. Sometimes we think about that as something that modern psychology is really prominent in modern psychology to acknowledge and to begin your day with gratitude. This can involve writing or thinking or sitting, whether or not you're closing your eyes or really kind of whether you're in meditation or out of meditation. It's a form of meditation, right? Um, but I also think that gratitude is present in some of the ancient texts revolving around yoga. And I want to even take this further into this modern idea of mindful based self compassion. So, karuna, compassion, being not only something that's expressed outward towards others, but that initiates inside of the self. So I find that this, from my study, this is actually very present in the path of yoga. This idea that we need to offer compassion, kindness, care, and just like validation to ourselves to begin. And I think that that's a really beautiful platform, like a first step to start in always. Um, so, in any form, any way that you're moving your body, from the gentlest stretch to the more advanced yoga poses, any way that you're entering into a breathing technique, any way that you begin like a journaling exercise or a guided meditation, or even, just a period of relaxation where you're listening to some beautiful meditative music or sound bowls, whatever it is. I think that starting from that place of acknowledging what is happening inside of you, because that also kind of gives us back our strength, and then deciding that you're going to approach whatever it is with kindness towards the self is really paramount. And gratitude has a way of moving you into that. But I think with all of the techniques that we've talked about, starting from that place of self compassion is really important. And I do think that it's present in many of the ancient texts that are thousands and thousands of years old. You're looking at the Gita, the Upanishads, aspects of the later Vedas. And so gratitude is important because what it does is it naturally shifts your state, it naturally shifts your emotions. So in some of the ancient texts of yoga, gratitude would be one of our highest emotions. So even when I've been working with different athletes, we will start from that place of gratitude and try to move into that as quickly as we can, because gratitude is kind of juxtaposed to, say, a position of fear. And often anxiety is actually rooted in some fear. There's different philosophies to understanding kind of the root of anxiety. And so I'm not saying that I'm an expert in that. It is something that I've read a lot about. But with anxiety, I think there's often something that's unrecognized or unaddressed. And I think connecting kind of with the true self and just acknowledging yourself and what's happening inside, especially in a way that is kind and is caring, is a way to dismantle what is anxiety. And so gratitude maybe moves you from kind of these lower chakras like the Muladhara, the Swadhisthana. You're just working on meeting those basic needs, which many of us find ourselves operating in this space most of the day. Okay, I need to make a living. I need to pay for a place to live. I need to gain food. I need to make sure that my family's taken care of. Um, and then gratitude kind of moves you up more into like the anahata, like the heart center, and also into this Vishuddha chakra, this throat chakra, which is really expressing your own truth. Um, Even into like the ajna, which is connecting with the higher intellect of the universe, the Saraswara connecting to what is in many ways like infinity, or that higher collective consciousness. Gratitude naturally moves you into some of the highest emotional states. So, whatever emotional state you're starting in, gratitude is going to move you into one of the highest ones. So, just asking yourself the question in the morning or at night, which is a hard thing to remember to do. So, one positive thing you can do is, write something and hang it up next to your bed. Like, what am I grateful for? Or practice gratitude or writing the first three things that you're grateful for. And then that naturally starts that thought process in your mind. And you develop these, what meditation is basically doing is rewiring the connective tissue of the brain, the synapses that fires. And so if you have the tendency to have an anxious thought, which is initiated by something that you're fearful about, something that you're worried about, then actually practicing, just like you're developing a muscle more often, asking yourself, what am I grateful for? Or starting off with these first three things that you are grateful for, kind of rewires your brain to strengthen those connections in your brain. And then eventually, some of those thought processes that we have that may be really hardwired from childhood can eventually become more frail and actually break and then dissolve into the brain. So it's really actually quite tangible. It's quite physical, even though it seems completely mental. Um, there's a physicality to how that actually works, and it's fascinating. So gratitude is probably one of the most surefire tactics or practices that we can have in kind of our toolbox to move us into the space, which is an opposite space from feeling anxiety or depression, which many of us are experiencing at some level, especially right now, and that's completely okay. But what can we do to kind of initiate those opposite emotions and to develop those connections and make them stronger and stronger? So, so gratitude is very important. I find that's present in many of the ancient texts of yoga, and at the same time, where I'm like all about these practical, tangible things that we can do on a daily basis. I mean, I have to say that some of the most beautiful works of art really are the Upanishads and the Gita, which I've been teaching for several years, and um, I just want you all to just open them as well, because there's so much wisdom and beauty there, and everything that we're talking about is present inside of those stories, and um, and it's beautiful the way that they're written, because it's people coming with just regular concerns, like this call is focused on, like regular concerns of fear and satisfying and handling some of our basic needs, and how do we move into these higher states of wisdom and operating at that level. And there's many stories that we can all relate to that are in those books. So they're just amazing. So gratitude is very important. Thank you for the question.